Aloha, friends and family. Been a while. I think I'm going to title this one, what was the title going to be? The title is going to be Addicted to Maya. Addicted to Maya. What is Maya? Illusion. And anytime you're addicted to anything, usually, and you know you shouldn't be, or don't want to be, or that it's bad for you, at first you have a tough time admitting it. You don't want to admit that you're addicted to something that's not good for you. And a lot of people probably don't understand Maya. They can understand, the word illusion, so they figure, well, I know what that means. And so if Maya is illusion, then I know what he means when he says addicted to Maya. But you might not. And you might be addicted to Maya yourself, but just don't want to admit it. Or just don't realize it to admit it. First you got to realize stuff before you can admit it. And so, there's a lot of pessimism out there. Seems like pessimism's on the rise. Well, why is that? Well, because the narratives out there are generally negative and pessimistic. And so that is bleeding over into people's consciousness, causing them to also be pessimistic and negative. But we could bring up the question, why are you addicted to the narrative? Why do you feel like you have to stay attached to the narrative, to the mainstream matrix Maya? Because it's ongoing. It's ongoing. It'll never stop, I don't think, in the lower astral plane. I think the lower astral plane is perpetual Maya. And you cycle here perpetually until you come to the realization of what Maya is, that you are addicted to it, and then you begin to extract yourself from it, and you begin to disengage from the narratives, the mainstream or matrix narratives, so that they are not influencing your choices. They're not influencing your actions. And we may say, well, they're not. But if you're an addict, you're being influenced by whatever you're addicted to, whether you can admit that or not. Like let's go extreme. If you're a heroin addict and you're out stealing somebody's stuff so that you can get some more heroin, you might be telling yourself, well, I'm not stealing this stuff to get heroin. I'm stealing this stuff to get money because I need money. Yeah, but you're going to use the money to get heroin. Oh, well, I'm not. You see, you're deluding yourself. You're deceiving yourself. You're tricking yourself into believing something that's not true so that you can stay addicted, stay an addict, and not make the changes necessary. What if every single person just cut off that heroin addiction? Oh, I'm sorry. That matrix addiction. That I won't even say Maya because I don't think many people truly understand Maya. So it's easier for them to try to first understand matrix or mainstream narrative. But if you look on YouTube, if you go on news, anywhere you look in the mainstream, it's always narrative, narrative, narrative. This is going to happen next. This is what just happened. Here's what we predict. Here's what we foresee. And constantly trying to figure out the future, but never truly rooted and grounded in the present moment where your power is. Your power to use creative, co-creative faculties, skills, gifts, power. See, they rob you of all that. Maya does. Because it's got you projecting out into the future or reflecting back to the past. And if you feel like your life's crap right now, but you had good times in the past, you'll find yourself dwelling on old memories of good things. Another way of saying maybe you've passed your prime. And if you had a bad past and you still don't like your current present condition, life, environment, state, then you might find yourself dwelling in the future in dreams and fantasies and ideas. And that would be better than the former, but it still has you somewhere other than the present moment where you can take action. So you can't take action in the future from the present. You would have to first get to the future. Then you could take action. So the only place you can take action is right here, right now. And if you're in Maya, if you're in illusion, you're bleeding off your life force currency, which is your power. Again, that's your power to co-create, to manifest, bring forth, bring into realization. Whatever. You see, you're not limited. It's up to you. You are the co-creator. So imagine it in the present moment. And yeah, there's future stuff you can imagine or hope for or wish for or desire or whatever. But the connection, the cord of connection from that to now, right here, starts right here. So you would have to do something right here, right now. For that to come to fruition, you would have to make that connection from the present moment, from your place of power, from the place of action. You might want to look into Maya more and understand it more. It seems, because it's one word, we think, oh, I understand what a word is, so I got it, Maya, what is that? Illusion. Oh, okay, I got it, I understand. But it's deeper than that. It's something that you have to understand. You can intellectually know what illusion means and what the word Maya means, but that doesn't mean you've understood it. That doesn't mean it's emanating from within your soul. The understanding, not the illusion. And see, a lot of people are not going to break their addiction to Maya. Why aren't they? Because they have nothing else, or they have very little else. They have no passion. Passion for the present. Passion for the power you've been given in the present. Passion to unfold your visions, dreams, ideas, co-creations. And see, there's so many people also that are still stuck in deityville, where the deity does all that stuff. I'm just a little peasant. I've been given no power. I've been given nothing but this little tiny life that's fleeting and passes away quickly. Well, again, you've identified yourself as your avatar. You don't realize that you're eternal. You don't realize that you have this connection to Source that streams all of this power, for lack of any, I don't know what else to call it, power, beauty, harmony, everything that Source is streaming into your present moment, and then running through the filter of your intellect, and then streaming back out into the 3D world to become whatever your life is, or whatever it is you have passion for. And see, many people don't have passion for anything. They don't have any visions, co-creations, good ideas, hopes, dreams. And so the lack of that keeps them addicted, keeps them in their addictive cycle to illusion, where they have to hear the latest narrative, they have to know the latest prediction of what's coming next. They need to be told something. They need some data, because the brain gets agitated with just calm, still, absolute, quiet stillness. How long can your mind take it? Like solitary confinement. Most people's idea of solitary confinement is, oh, it's terrible, it's horrible, and in a prison setting, yeah, it would be. But you should be able to be your best in solitary confinement, because that's when you're tuned in the most and the deepest, and you're the stillest. And in that stillness, your power rises up, your ideas come forward, your dreams birth. And you, from this present moment, can begin, if you haven't begun, you can begin to manifest. But most people are just going to cycle here for a while more, it seems. It seems to me that people are not ready to break the addictive cycle of Maya. They might be, ready to hear what it is. Tell me what Maya is. It's this. Oh, okay. Yeah, but are you ready to break the cycle? Well, I'm not in no cycle. I couldn't be. It doesn't apply to me, right? And only you would know that. Only you could answer that. But so you can't answer that if you don't have the understanding of what it is, and that you are actually addicted to something that's not good for you, but you don't know what the alternative is. You don't know any other place or way to break out of these narratives that just come from the matrix continually. See, and if you got into solitary confinement, your mind wouldn't be able to take it very long. You'd break, you'd crack up. But why? Why would you break? Why would you crack up? Why couldn't you maintain solitary confinement? Aloneness with yourself and source. Aloneness with the Creator. Because you're addicted. You must be. Or else you could do that. You would be doing that already. That would be one of the things that had replaced Maya in your life and in your consciousness. But what would we talk about? Silence. How do you talk about silence? You don't. You're silent. So I wouldn't be talking? No, you'd be silent. How long could you handle it? How long could you take it? Let's switch gears. Let's talk about Maya for a second. Or what potentially could be seen as Maya. Cryptocurrency. Is cryptocurrency Maya? I don't know, is it? I guess we could say everything in physicality is part of Maya. Yeah, but cryptocurrencies aren't physical. Okay, so they're ideas. And a lot of people are negative and pessimistic on that as well. Why? Well, it's new, we don't understand it, and we figure it must be part of Maya or the Matrix, which society intuitively views as negative, even if they don't know that or know what it is again. And so that just gets thrown in with it. Cryptocurrency must be part of the system. The system's bad, so it must be bad. But we're talking about a shift to digital currency. And many people, again, will think that that's bad. Yeah, but we've already shifted to digital currency. Just because you can have a physical dollar in your hand doesn't mean that when it comes to, let us say, the banking system and the infrastructure of the financial system, it's all digital. If you look up your balance in your bank account on your phone right now, isn't it going to be digital? A digital readout? So it's already digital. Then you might say, well, then why change it? We just stick with it. Well, one simple, big, glaring, obvious reason would be the blockchains are public ledgers, and any cryptocurrency on a blockchain has a set number of created coins, and as the supply gets distributed and there's less coins, then they become more valuable. Whereas your dollar has an infinite amount of coins, or an infinite amount of dollars, because they just print them insanely. And if you look at just the last couple years worth of printing, let us just call them digital dollars, they've created millions of brand spanking new ones. Well, that every single one that they makes all of them worth a little bit less, a little bit less. And so you're not dealing with something that's becoming more scarce and then thus more valuable. You're dealing with something that's got an infinite supply, and the more they throw out there, the less that they're all worth. And so that alone makes the old financial system garbage. And since the digital dollar is no longer backed by gold and hasn't been since, I believe, the early 70s, then it's literally just backed by complacency. People are complying with and agreeing with the digital dollar. And see, everybody that hates money, hates financial stuff, or is disgusted with the whole system, which I've been there, trust me, I've been there. And I'm still not, hunky-dory about the whole system at large, because it is part of Maya. But we find ourselves in the lower astral plane, and finance is the oil that keeps this machine of this kind of life going. So I don't know how we get around it, as long as we're in the lower astral plane in a 3D world. All right, so since we are here, and there is a financial system, and money is part of it, part of the whole process, then we can't just label all money is bad. Like we can't label anything and say all of anything is bad. Because again, don't we find that there's good and bad within every labeled group of person, place, or thing? All right, so cryptocurrency is revolutionizing an old, tired, worn out, manipulated financial system that has made a few people at the top of that system immensely rich and powerful, and then they use that wealth and influence to buy politicians, bribe politicians, buy election results, right? Because they have dominion. So cryptocurrency is going to become a global financial system that's not controlled by a government or a nation or a few people at the top. Now, can they still influence the markets? Sure, they can. They can try. They can, they're going to try to do whatever they do. Their whole business, their whole mode of operation, right, is corruption, deceit, etc. Everything that you would expect to find in Maya. All right, but we're having to interface with the matrix. You can't go down to the store, well, you could, and just grab a bunch of stuff and leave, right? We got people doing that now, and apparently that's somehow becoming more legal. I don't know. Blue states are whack as they can be. But since you must give something at the store to get whatever it is you're getting, why not have something new and fresh that doesn't have an infinite supply, that's not controlled by these particular people at the top of this particular financial structure. And you might say, well, how does governance work in a cryptocurrency system? Governance works by the participants. So the people that have invested, bought in, and or believe in the project, the idea, the co-creation, then they invest into it. And then, depending on how invested into it you are, you get some governance allotted to you. And what would the governance be for? It would be for changes in the protocol, maybe upgrades, maybe there's some sort of a problem, and then everybody says, hey, if we did this, then this would all work better for everybody. Okay, well, let's vote on it. Let's put the idea forward. All right, are we going to do it or not? And somebody doesn't step up out of JP Morgan office and say, okay, we're doing this. Why not? Because they don't control it. They don't have the power to say what's going to be done. Who decides? Everybody that's involved in it. Everybody that's invested in it. Everybody that sees that vision. So it goes to them. Or you could say it goes to you. Now you have a voice in the financial system and the changes or not that happen in that financial ecosystem. It falls to you. It falls to us. It falls to the people. That's where it should be anyway, right? The government is supposed to be for the people, by the people, or by the people, for the people. Is it? No. Why not? It got corrupt. Who's it for? It's for those rich, supposedly powerful people at the top. I don't say they're powerful. They're manipulators, liars, deceivers. Those are not powerful people. Let's stop calling liars, deceivers, and general scumbags powerful people. Or a lot of people like to call them the elite. What's so elite about being a corrupted, power-mad, money-grubbing, shekel-flipping politician? See, that's only elite in the Matrix. That's only elite in Maya. So we have to get ourselves extracted out of Maya, be able to see Maya for what it is, and even interface with it. And let us say, be in it, but not of it. The Christians had that saying for a while. Be in the world, but not of the world. Okay, we can be in Maya, but not of Maya. So decentralization, financial decentralization, is a good thing. I think, the way I see it, cryptocurrency is a good thing. The way I see it, can it be used for bad? Like any system, anything. Of course, anything could be. Water could be used for bad. A spoon could be used for bad. A marker could be used for bad. Right? Anything can be. So because it could potentially be used for bad, we don't just say, oh, nope, it's terrible. I'm not going to think about it or look at it or understand it. That's with everything, anything. So why would you close your mind? Why would you just selectively pick and choose things to close your mind to when anything can be used for good or bad? So you should understand it more. And in the more, if you understood it more, you probably wouldn't be so negative or pessimistic towards it, because you're already in a system that's controlled and corrupted, or corrupted and controlled. And you want to say, oh, well, cryptocurrency is going to be a more controllable system or whatever. No, not necessarily. It's giving you the freedom and the opportunity and the ability to break free from a system that you're already, again, addicted to or forced to interface with. So you're forced to interface with the corrupted dollar. Everybody, the whole planet just about, has been forced to interface with the corrupted dollar. But cryptocurrency is changing that scenario. And the possibilities for a lot of good things are here, are available, are happening. And all we can do is act and take action from the present moment, which is right here, right now. When the internet came out, remember the narratives? Remember how this perpetual narrative spewing goes your entire life from birth to death? It never stops. And they were saying when the internet came out, all the naysayers, all the pessimistic people, it's gonna be bad. All the crap they said, whatever it was, anything they said that was negative and bad. But here you find yourself using it right now. And is it all bad? Is it all terrible? No, it's not all bad. It's not all terrible. Good things. It's used for good things, many good things. Probably many more good things than bad things. But that wasn't the narrative when it came out. I mean, had you invested into it and saw the positive sides of it, and regardless of what everybody else did, your investment, you're putting life force currency and or actual real currency into the idea, into the co-creation. You meant it how you meant it. So if you meant it for good, then your intention was good. Your karma's good. Right? It doesn't matter what the corrupt people are doing. You're never going to do anything about that. They're always going to be corrupt. They're always going to be doing it for malintent. But that doesn't mean you are. And if you would like some coins to interface with the new financial system that's coming into fruition as we speak, then it wouldn't cost you that many of your fiat dollars invested in the right cryptocurrencies to get you a good grip of coins for your future interfacing. And I'm not here to tell you which ones are those. You would have to come to that conclusion yourself. You would have to understand the technology better. You would have to understand blockchain better. You would have to break away from the narratives about it and come to your own conclusions based on research and knowledge. But most people are not going to do that. Most people will not do that. They will just continue to consume their addiction of narratives. They will take action or not take action based on those narratives. And their life will probably never change very much because they stayed an addict instead of breaking free. They stayed engaged with it instead of disengaging from it. They stayed fearful and pessimistic when it was all just narratives. So you didn't have to be afraid, and you could have been positive about it, and it could have produced positivity in your future. But again, you had to make that connection from right here, right now, this present moment. You would have to have a streaming connection to the future where that positivity came to fruition, manifested. And now you have created something for yourself because of the action you took from the present moment outside of Maya, but interfacing with it. And you might say, well, I don't want to have any interface with Maya and illusion. And you could do that. You could go live in a cave in the Alps and do that. You could go find a monastery and do that. You could find an ashram and do that. You could create a hermitage and do that. But the minute you go take any kind of money and exchange it for something else, you broke that. You broke your vow of, I'm not going to interface with it. I'm pessimistic about it. I'm negative towards it. I don't like it. I hate it. It's corrupt. It's bad. I don't want nothing to do with it. But the minute you use some money and interface with it and make an exchange, you're in hypocrisy about it. So you really should just change your attitude about it. And by changing your attitude about it, you could change everything about it. Isn't that true about anything? Your life. If you have a terrible attitude about your life and about life, period, things are not going to go so well. Things are not going to feel very well. Things are not going to seem right. Things are not going to seem pleasant. Things are not going to be balanced. And your attitude could be bringing all of that about. But the minute you change it, you change your attitude about it, about life, about your life, then suddenly synchronicity comes back. Suddenly somebody calls you. And this connection is made. Suddenly it dawns upon you, man, I should put $500 into this cryptocurrency today. And a year from now, have a big old smile on your face going, man, that dude is not as crazy as we thought. He's not as nutty as we thought. I was going to unsubscribe, but I didn't. Because I was getting tired of painting videos. I don't know how you get tired of painting videos, but if you're not an artist, that could happen, I guess. Anywho, I think I'll leave it at that for today. Start your new year right, man. Start your new year right. And right for you might mean something different, so I'm not going to try to say what right is. You know what right is for you. So start it that way. Whatever that is, whatever right is for you. Love, unity, and light. Until next time, my beautiful friends and family. And I'm just going to leave you with my new painting. Obviously, I've been working my butt off on painting. And so, this is what I'm working on. Have been working on and continue. It's not done, so I still got to work on it. See you soon. Peace. God bless. Haven't heard that one in a while, huh? God bless. May the Creator be with you and strengthen you to do all that is good for you in this new year.